You would think that a world-class nutrition expert, someone who has spent 30 years advising elite athletes, would have total control over his own health. But biological reality does not care about your resume. By his mid-40s, researcher Alan Aragon found his personal and professional life imploding. The intense stress of fatherhood and an overwhelming career pushed him into a severe daily habit. He was drinking up to 1.5 bottles of wine by himself every single night. That is nearly 1,000 liquid calories consumed in the dark, night after night. The physiological toll of that surplus compounds rapidly, layering on body fat while the alcohol acts as a temporary, destructive bandage for anxiety. When someone finally hits rock bottom and decides to pull themselves out, the psychological need for results is immediate. They do not want a slow, methodical process. They want a drastic, aggressive intervention to erase years of regret as quickly as possible. The multi-billion-dollar diet industry understands this psychology perfectly. They monitor this exact state of personal desperation, stepping in to offer extreme, highly marketable protocols precisely when people are most willing to buy them. Today, the most profitable solution they sell is severe restriction, specifically starvation-level fasting protocols that promise to overhaul your health in days. Running parallel to this is a calculated narrative targeting specific demographics, telling women that unavoidable hormonal failure during midlife guarantees massive, uncontrollable weight gain unless they buy specialized interventions. The ultimate justification for these extremes is a concept called autophagy. This is a biological process where cells clean up their own damaged components, and the fitness industry has packaged it as the singular mechanism for metabolic repair. Yet, despite the grand promises of cellular rejuvenation and rapid fat loss, clinical reality tells a different story. The vast majority of people who attempt these extreme fasting protocols rapidly rebound, putting all the weight right back on. These repeated failures are not the result of poor discipline or a broken metabolism. They occur because the industry relies on a biological illusion, designing protocols that guarantee failure to ensure you remain a lifelong customer. The central claim driving the fasting industry is pushing your body to the brink of starvation is the only effective way to trigger this deep cellular cleanup. Clinical research proves otherwise. Autophagy ramps up naturally in any standard caloric deficit. Combining a moderate diet with basic resistance training achieves the exact same cellular maintenance without requiring you to starve for days. This animated chart illustrates the hidden danger of extreme fasting. Studies comparing standard diets to aggressive protocols like every other day fasting show a stark contrast in tissue preservation. The severe fasting group actually loses significantly more lean muscle mass. Muscle is the metabolic engine of the human body, dictating how many calories you burn just staying alive. Losing it is catastrophic for long-term weight management. By prioritizing a marketable buzzword over tissue preservation, these extreme diets destroy the dieter's baseline metabolism. You may lose weight on the scale, but you are systematically dismantling your body's ability to keep that weight off. A similar deception occurs in the menopause space. The industry claims that midlife hormonal changes create a biological inevitability, dooming women to massive belly fat. To test this, we look to the SWAN study, which is the largest, longest, and most comprehensive clinical trial ever conducted on the menopausal transition. This diagram reveals the study's actual findings. The average amount of fat gained during the entire multi-year transition is not the massive figure often advertised, but just 3.5 pounds. To visualize exactly how manageable that is, 3.5 pounds of fat equates to about 14 sticks of butter. It is a statistically significant change, but it is hardly an insurmountable biological wall. The true challenge of midlife is rarely hormonal failure. It is the overwhelming psychological stress of aging parents, demanding careers, and the frustration of applying aggressive, unrealistic timelines to a body that simply requires a slightly slower pace of progress. By blaming hormones for every struggle, the industry instills a state of learned helplessness. They convince people their bodies are broken, ensuring a steady stream of revenue from endless, ineffective supplement purchases. The real reason extreme diets fail eventually comes down to a biological phenomenon known as collateral fattening. When rapid crash dieting burns away precious muscle tissue alongside fat, the body interprets this loss as an evolutionary energy crisis. the internal alarms go off, signaling that survival is at risk. In response, the body ramps up primal, uncontrollable hunger signals. These are not cravings you can simply power through. They are urgent directives engineered by your nervous system to force you to consume calories. Your body will ruthlessly store new fat, pushing your weight higher and higher until that missing muscle tissue is completely restored to its original baseline. That sudden, overwhelming rebound weight is a perfectly executed biological defense mechanism protecting you from starvation. This brings us to the inevitable wall every dieter hits, regardless of protocol: the plateau. 4 to 8 weeks where the scale refuses to move. The standard industry advice is to fight this wall. If you stall, you must cut your calories even further and exercise even harder. The clinical reality is that a plateau is not a failure. It is homeostasis. Your body is successfully adapting to its new weight, doing exactly what it was designed to do to keep you alive. The scientifically validated countermeasure to this stalling isn't more restriction, but a strategy researchers refer to as non-YOLO maintenance. The strategy requires taking a deliberate, controlled break from dieting for every 5 to 10 pounds of fat loss. You relax the rules, eat at your maintenance level, and alleviate physical fatigue. This chart demonstrates why this works. During a strict diet, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or the calories you burn through spontaneous daily movement, drops steeply. Taking a strategic maintenance break stabilizes this decline, keeping your metabolic expenditure from crashing. By intentionally practicing maintenance rather than trapping yourself in endless cycles of extreme restriction, you preserve your muscle mass and secure the metabolic stability necessary for permanent weight loss. Compare this sustainable approach to the methods pushed by fitness gurus. The guidelines that trickle down to the general public come from elite, enhanced competitors who push their biology to the absolute fringe. The diet industry intentionally hides the necessity of muscle preservation and the reality of plateaus because sustainability directly disrupts their business model. If they teach you to comfortably maintain your progress and work with your body's survival mechanisms, you no longer need their next 30-day reset. They lose a repeat customer. So you really have to ask yourself, is the billion-dollar diet industry actually selling you a path to health, or are they selling you an inescapable cycle of failure?